Neuschwanstein is the embodiment of a fantasy castle, built in the 19th century by King Ludwig II of Bavaria, the fairy tale king. Ever since his mysterious death in 1886, millions of tourists have fallen under its spell. It's become a must-see destination.
I'm from Saudi Arabia. I came here for my honeymoon.
I think it's one of the most famous places. You know, even we're in China, we all learn the place.
Up to 8,000 tourists a day flock to Neuschwanstein in the high season. Last year, a record-breaking 1.5 million people came here. The sheer thought of that would have been a nightmare for King Ludwig. He preferred to live in his palaces in complete isolation, though he didn't actually live long enough to see the completion of Neuschwanstein. The throne room is one of the most impressive halls. The fairy tale king regarded himself as an intermediary between God and his subjects. The wall painting in the Singers' Hall shows scenes from German composer Richard Wagner's operas Parsifal and Lohengrin. The king loved Wagner, but no musical performances were actually ever staged here in his lifetime. The hall was intended to commemorate medieval courtly culture, and Neuschwanstein was designed to represent the ideal medieval castle.
Certain motifs evoke the image of a castle. These motifs are used so extensively that they create an ideal image. For example, the building is very elongated with towers, crenellations, and turrets that originally would have served defensive purposes.
Each one of Ludwig's refuges was very distinct. He built 4 palaces in total: Neuschwanstein, Linderhof Palace, the King's House on the Schachen, and Herrenchiemsee Palace. Here we can see the Bavarian king's fascination with the French Sun King Louis XIV. Herrenchiemsee Palace was intended as an homage to Ludwig's great idol.
If you look at architecture today, it's just so uninspired. You have to say, wow, they really knew how to live back then.
A chance to be again in an old atmosphere.
It's like an hour in a fairy tale.
During his lifetime, Ludwig II was criticized for his extravagant construction projects. Today, they bring the state of Bavaria millions of euros in revenue. But the upkeep of Neuschwanstein is also expensive. The admission fees help pay for the upkeep of the palaces and their valuable interiors, such as here in Ludwig II's bedroom. Neuschwanstein souvenirs are much in demand. A miniature castle costs just under 20 euros, and some people are even prepared to spend a lot more to celebrate their wedding in front of this internationally famous backdrop. American film producer Walt Disney helped to make it even more well-known by immortalizing it in his company's logo.
The exaggerated depiction of history in the buildings and their interiors corresponded with the extremely emotional, very colorful animated film world of Disney. And so it was a match made in heaven.
No need to wish upon a star. Disney's fairy tale castle really does exist at Neuschwanstein in Bavaria.